Hello and welcome in everybody to Santander Arena. My name is Ryan Cuney, joined in by my co-host Andrew Daly, where we've got two 1-0 teams in the International Arena League here facing off. It's the visiting Utah Grade 8 taking on the home squad, Pennsylvania Benjamins. And I'll cede my time here to my partner, Andrew Daly. Andrew, who are we looking out for in this one?
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere so far here in Reading today. Nice to have arena football back here in Santander Arena. One guy I'm going to watch for, starting off with the Utah Grade 8s, is quarterback Connor Cagey. I was watching him in pregame warm-ups. Really good zip on his passes. He's started his career at Montana for the Grizzlies, wound up finishing at Ottawa College, threw for over 2,600 yards and 26 touchdowns in his career, so I'm keeping an eye out for him today. And on the other side of the ball, I got for the Pennsylvania Benjamins, I'm watching out for my guy at receiver, number 6, Jeremiah Payton. Jeremiah Payton had some time at the University of Miami. Coming out of high school, was a highly touted recruit, and he had a touchdown last week in the win against Las Vegas. I'm going to see, I already saw pregame warm-ups. He's ready to go. He's flying around out there. He's excited. Keep your eye on Peyton today to make some plays for that receiving core of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he was certainly one of the higher energy guys, had his name called, ran all the way down to the opposing goal line, and Jeremiah Payton now at the end zone line extended alongside. That's Raymond Boone, the D-back. They will be fielding the kick. It's the Benjamins in black, and the kicking off Utah Grade 8 in light blue. We are underway here in Santander Arena. Boone on the kickoff. He's got some space. Passing midfield to the 10, 5. He's in. Opening score. Raymond Boone.
Raymond Boone from Bowie State getting it done for the second week in a row. He had a kickoff return last week against Las Vegas. Hey, he took that one and he found a crease, as you can see it here on the replay. Nice lane there for Boone. And I'll tell you what, that kicker, Spencer Bisco, didn't want no parts of making this tackle here at the end. And I don't blame him, because you see Raymond Boone coming at you that fast. I'm getting out of the way too. Pennsylvania Benjamin started off fast, but listen, this is a fast-paced game, high-scoring game. There's going to be a lot of it here today.
Plenty of time here in the opening, opening 30 seconds. Get a kickoff for a score. Now the extra point on the way, up and good. That one completed by Dawson Evitz. And 7-0 the score here after just 1 minute of play. Saw there on the replay as well, Jeremiah Payton here laying a key block on the edge to set that.
Yeah, that's a great block by Payton. It's a great example of being a selfless player and getting things done on special teams. Everybody always talks about in football, there's not just two facets of the game, there's 3, offense, defense, and special teams, and Benjamin's getting it started off early for this crowd here in Reading. Nice crowd on hand here at Santander Arena. Beautiful arena for these Pennsylvania Benjamins.
Yeah, we were discussing it earlier. The field conditions looking pretty good today. Had some of the arena support staff come up and talking with us earlier before the game started, and they were also commenting how nice the field looked. Players said it's a little stiff, as Andrew Daly went down and chatted with them a little bit earlier. Andrew, what'd they say about the field conditions?
Yeah, anytime you get these arena leagues here, it's nice to have uniform turf and a playing surface throughout your league. I was down there and I was talking to a couple of Utah receivers who said it's a little bouncy down there. There's not a whole lot of give to the turf underneath. There might be on top of a board or something like that, but we'll see how it plays out here the rest of the afternoon.
So now Benjamin's on the kickoff. They'll launch this one deep, and strong coverage. That was number 21 with a fantastic play. DeMonte McCurdy able to wrap up the returning Utah great.
Yeah, that was Samaj Brown there, number 11.
Yep.
First-year pro from Chicago, Illinois. Samaj Brown typically playing in the defensive secondary. You might see him line up as safety linebacker today, but just now he's returning kicks.
So now it's Utah's turn. First time we'll see settled offense, the offensive unit for either team out today. And they'll start this one off from their own 15. Under center is Connor Cagey. Cagey sets one in motion. On the way, drops, looks, fires, caught. Out to the sideline, far side. And being brought down at the 10-yard line
Yeah, that's number 6 there. It's Jadakiss Bonds. Flag on the play, though, so we'll have to see what it is. It might be roughing the passer. Jadakiss Bonds, nice pedigree himself. Let me penalties on the defense here. Jadakiss Bonds spent some time with the Packers. Native of Hampton, or he spent his time at Hampton University. Playmaker definitely for that Utah offense and that receiving core, and you can see it there. And they're going to tack on a few more yards as there was a penalty there for the Utah grade 8s, or against the Benjamins, excuse me.
So now, fresh set of downs, starting just inside the 10. Ball kicked away there by defensive lineman. That was Pryor. Reset. KG now back under center. Officials saying they need to move the ball back to its original location after it was kicked. So it's KG under center, CJ Odom behind him off to his left. Jadakiss Bonds on the far side. In motion now, split out, caught, and brought down almost immediately. That was Stimson.
Yeah, Stimson there, he goes in that high motion. In this league, you're allowed to have one man in motion. I know some indoor football leagues allow you to have two, but in this league, the International Arena League, you're allowed to have one man moving towards the line of scrimmage at a time. KG makes a snap, and they throw a little swing pass there, almost like a screen setup. They're not able to get many yards, and Stimson stopped for a very minimal gain.
That's a nice defensive effort. Tough to match the speed of someone who's already built up all their momentum when you're starting from scratch as a defensive player. KG getting things going once again. He lost the ball. It's loose. Picked up by the Benjamins, now rumbling and stumbling. It's a foot race to the end zone. Nobody's going to catch him. 13-0 the score. That one recovered by Rodney Hall, the D-back out of North Carolina Wesleyan.
Look at this. KG can't control the snap. Nobody knows where the ball is, and Hall is never going to have an easier touchdown than this one. I think he picks it up, and there's not a guy within 5 or 6 yards of him, but Hall making his presence felt early for this Benjamin defense and putting them ahead by 13 here early in the first quarter.
Yeah, CJ Odom, the running back for Utah, seemed to be the only one who knew that the ball was on the ground.
And it's tough too in that situation because that's a momentum killer too, because you're driving in, you're within 7 yards of the goal line, and you're ready to punch one in, and now you're down by 13 points.
Absolutely, and you feel like you haven't really had any time to play your game, and every time you have played your game, granted it's only been 1 or 2 plays, you've been successful. It's been those bizarre specialty plays, fumbling a snap, a kickoff return, that now you find yourself down 2 scores. Suddenly just under 4 minutes, or just over 4 minutes has been played. Utah wondering where it all went. Kick up and good. And 2 for 2 is Dawson Evans on the day.
They got a little hockey flair in here with the goal horn. Every time they score a point, it's a really great atmosphere here in the Santander Arena.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is.
Take a look again at this fumble, and it just looks like little mishandling there with KG and the center there. Center for the Utah grade 8s is number 76, Noah Ferguson. Not sure if they've had issues last week or prior to that, but something that they're going to have to get corrected if they want to get back into this one. But that's the beautiful thing about arena football is, hey, it doesn't take long to put points on the board, and 14 points can be overcome pretty quickly.
Absolutely. It's a high-octane, high-scoring affair here at Santander Arena. And another piece on that last play was really unable to, I couldn't quite make out the number, but the awareness of the defensive linemen of the Benjamins to go after KG, really bring him down, keep him away from the ball, allowing for that much space, because apart from Opal, who was chasing Rodney Hall, Odom, or KG rather, was the only one aware the ball was loose, as that kickoff knocks off the Jumbotron. Officials blow it dead.
Yeah, I don't know what we'll have to see what the ruling is on that one if the ball hits the scoreboard.
Officials carrying it. Looks like they're going to stop around midfield, and that would be brutal.
Yeah. Listen, I played arena football about, let's say 12 years ago. It's been a while since I've had the rules down. So you guys, we're gonna work together through some of these things and find out the the rules and not what happens when the ball hits the scoreboard. I never had a scoreboard that nice to worry about in the arenas that I was playing in. So
yeah, we've mentioned it a couple of times. Spectacular venue here. That time it's gonna bite the Benjamins in the butt a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean that ball, that ball gets put on the 13-yard line. I don't know if it's.
So it looks like it knocked off the scoreboard. They blew it dead from the spot it landed, and then enforced a penalty from that spot for hitting the scoreboard.
Well, this is where Utah's got to capitalize, and I would watch up top for again a couple of the receivers there for Utah. You got Bonds.
So Bonds on the far side. Stimson now in motion. KG drops, floats one, nobody home. KG got blown up on the back end.
Yeah, KG took a major hit there from the Benjamin's defensive lineman, but they just tried to run a little wheel route out of the backfield there with C.J. Odom, and KG wasn't able to get rid of it, wasn't able to get much on the pass. You can see here Stimson in motion. KG gets the snap. It looked clean there. He just does a quick 3-step drop, and that's number 10 for Pennsylvania, Jalen Green, just putting the pressure. Jalen Green coming in from James Madison, putting the pressure on KG and making him force a bad throw.
Green been active already in this one. KG gets things back square. That's Simpson in motion. Looking his way, he'll go back the opposite. Now over the middle, caught, but blown up immediately. Nice hands. Able to be brought in.
It's 88, Chris Jackson there. Nice catch over the middle. But if I'm KG here as an arena quarterback, and I'm not telling him anything because he's been, pretty successful in the last couple weeks here, you got to find an open guy. And when you got two guys on one in this game, there usually means there's somebody wide open. And he had a receiver wide open in the back corner of the end zone that he wasn't able to see.
And I'm sure Harold Myers, the linebacker there, could have absolutely decapitated Chris Jackson. Showed a little bit of restraint there, so that's something that KG's got to be careful of, thrown over the middle into two as well. Stimson motioning. KG lets one fly to the far side, breaks one into the end zone, score. Spectacular movement along the goal line extended. That was, once again, Jackson with it.
Yeah, that's a great play there by Jackson. You see him just get a quick little hitter here, and KG gets the ball out fast. Seems like that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to take many more hits from this Benjamin defense, but again, this is a great individual effort here by Jackson, who gets hit before the goal line. He's able to carry the ball through the goal line. Usually in this arena league, if you get hit and your momentum forces you into the boards, that would be a dead ball, but the referees determined that Jackson was able to cross that goal line before he hit the boards with his momentum from the tackle.
Kick up and good. That one nailed by Spencer Bisco. That brings us to a 14-7 game.
Tell you what, I like calling games with all this scoring. This is fast-paced, electric action. That's why it's such a great game to come watch. Make sure if you're in town for the next one, you guys are heading out here to support this local team, because this is fun, family-friendly football here, and it's a really good atmosphere, and you're watching some good football. And partner, a lot of these guys have got great pedigrees. You're talking about guys who have either played in camps or played with NFL teams, been in camps with NFL teams, played at high levels of college. We already talked about guys from James Madison, Texas A&M, all Montana, all over the place. These guys are significant, they're great football players, and it's great football action here.
Yeah, speaking of walking into your frame in black there, number 0, that's Josh Pryor, defensive lineman for the Benjamins. Speaking of getting some major playing time at the highest level, he played with the Commanders, and in the NFL, played against the Giants, notched a few minutes in the game, so it shows you how high level these are, as this one fielded and now returned. That was Jeremiah Payton, brought down at the 19.
This is the first time we're going to get the chance to see the Pennsylvania offense here. Wow, pretty exciting. We're over halfway, or almost halfway through the first quarter. We haven't seen the offense and quarterback Eamon Caldwell yet. And
they're up 14-7. How about that? So Caldwell takes the field for the first time today, as mentioned. And Caldwell, kind of an enigma going into this game.
Yeah,
Not really much about him.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit. He said he played at Virginia Union. It's his 5th season playing arena football, but again, good solid quarterback. Was watching him in pregame warmups, and he can sling it down there, so it should be fun to watch.
In motion now, Caldwell drops. He looks, he'll go deep right away. It's Peyton. Peyton elevates, he's got it! Spectacular! He just elevates, snatches the ball right out of the air, and the Benjamins up 20-7.
Unbelievable catch here by Jeremiah Peyton. There's a reason why this guy was playing for the Miami Hurricanes not too many years ago. Great ball there by Caldwell. He throws it up where only his player can get it. Great concentration there by Peyton to make the catch over the defender, and he knew he had the boards closing in on him. Great concentration there by Peyton to bring it in for a Benjamin's touchdown.
Yeah, he was being defended by Tavita Ahoiafianoa, and Ahoiafianoa just never completely turned around. That one blocked. So the Benjamins won't get the extra point tacked on. That'll leave us at 20-7. Could be influential later in this contest. Every point matters here in arena football.
What a great catch, man. I can't go back to that enough, but that's what we talk about here too. You got to watch these routes, and we're not seeing it with KG yet in the Utah offense. This arena game is built on these deep option routes now. Jeremiah Peyton's running down the field, and he's coming off of what the safety is going to do. Now, if the safety goes one way, Peyton's got the ability to break to a post. If the safety turns the other way, he can turn it into a corner route. The receiver and the quarterback have to be on the same page there, and they are so far in the first offensive drive of this game. It was just poetry in motion for the Benjamins for sure.
Yeah, and if we could see that one more time, we'll take a look at Iman Caldwell here. To your point, KG has been kind of letting it go quickly, but Caldwell knows he's gonna take a shot there. He's got 3 guys pocket collapsing, still steps into it fully, delivers a beautiful ball, and Peyton just does the rest.
Yeah, like I said, I played some arena quarterback back in my day, and you got about 2. If you get 3 seconds, that's a really long time back there. You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision quick, and you have to throw the ball and use air to buy time.
Squibb kickoff, fielded, big hit, able to keep his footing. Now working along the boards and being brought down just across midfield. Is Utah.
Yeah, solid return there by Samaj Brown, man. He's a tough runner. I know he plays defense, but he carries that mindset into the return game too, because he wasn't afraid to try and run over some of them Benjamin tacklers, and he did so. Watch this as you watch the return here. Boom, just get off me, man. He's not afraid of it. And
my goodness.
Yep.
And even still, being pushed into the boards wasn't brought down on the first attempt. Shows you the strength of a guy like Samaj Brown. Connor KG back under center. Motion man on the way. KG looks. He'll go back over the middle. Completed and brought down at about the 17-yard line of the Benjamins.
Yeah, it's Stimson there on a nice catch over the middle. Cameron Stimson. KG does a great job finding him over the middle and getting the ball out to him quick. But you can kind of see the 2 different styles of offensive play between the 2 teams. Pennsylvania's going to try and get it through, the longer throws, where Utah's been taking what they can get through the short game.
Bonds the motion man. They'll go to Bonds, and Bonds the possession catch at the 7.
Just another bobbled snap there by KG. There seems to be something going on between the quarterback center exchange between KG and Ferguson there. You can see him bobble the snap again. It forces him to force his throw and throw the ball quicker than he wanted to. But again, it's not coming off of his hand clean. He's just kind of shot-putted that one out there, but it was a completion nonetheless.
Yeah, you said it, arena football, it's a quick timing-based game. If anything is interrupted in that timing, spells trouble for the play. KG sends his man in motion. He'll give way. Handoff for the first time in this contest. Swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. That was C.J. Odom on the give.
Yeah, not something you see a whole lot of in the arena game is the run game, but you can do it sometimes, and trying to catch the defensive line sleeping a little bit down there. They give the ball to C.J. Odom, not able to pick much up, but no harm, no foul as it's only 2nd down. I found it as a quarterback very tough in this game to play within the 15-yard lines, I would say, going in. Maybe the 10-yard line going in, because the field shrinks so much and the defenders are able to cover so much more ground in such smaller space.
Yeah, that's a great point. You got to be a precise passer. See if KG's got it in him. He drops, flags out. KG will let it fly. Jump ball tipped out, incomplete.
Yeah, it's going to be a free play. It's going to be offsides on the defense, and I think KG knew that. He was just able to throw one up to his receiver.
It looked like he was targeting Stimson there. Stimson wasn't able to come down with it. Rodney Hall preventing the touchdown, but correct you are, Andrew. It is an offsides. That's going to go against Pennsylvania. So replay of second down will inch it closer now inside the 5-yard line. 4:42 left in quarter number 1 here. Benjamin still holding on to a 20-7 lead. And KG, looks like took him a while to get that play called in. So KG gonna have to be locked in here inside the 4-yard line, discussing with Jackson. It's Stimson, the motion man, behind the play. Bonds out to the far side. KG drops, looking, he'll go Bonds. Bonds tries to go for one hand, tips it up in the air, incomplete. We'll go to third down.
Yeah, no need there for Bonds to go one-handed. He could have probably made the two-handed catch there and secured the touchdown, but just a weird, interesting play design here. KG didn't really see anything that he liked. But again, I think Bonds could have had a chance to.
Yeah, focusing a little bit too much on maintaining that separation, Bonds was, with the offense. If you're going to go for the one-hander, you better come down with it.
Yeah, and it's going to be a timeout here called by Utah and Coach Sia Burley. Sia Burley, I don't know if you guys are familiar with his pedigree as a arena football coach, but I'm telling you, this guy has been all over the place. He was a 2024 champion for the Arizona Rattlers back in the IFL. He was in semifinals with the Jacksonville Sharks. He was coach of the year for the Jacksonville Sharks, and you might know them from Arena 1. Coach for the Orlando Predators, in the Arena Football League. This guy has been all over the place. An interesting fact, partner, he calls the offense and the defense for this grade 8's team. So
that's a busy man.
Yeah, talk about pulling double duty or triple duty as not only the head coach, but he's the offensive and defensive coordinator as well. So yeah, that's Sia Burley. He's been all over the place, highly regarded coach.
And tell me, as a coach yourself, would you ever be able to do that?
No, I don't think so. I've thought about, and I'm an offensive-minded guy, and I'm the offensive coordinator at the school that I coach at, but I've thought about trying to call the defense before. When it was a couple years ago when I couldn't find a defensive coordinator, and I was like, man, maybe I'll just call the defense and let somebody else call the offense.
Yeah.
But I think as a quarterback, it would help me with, defense. I would be able to call a defense, but
absolutely, yeah. I think you see a lot of guys who transition positions say that their time as a quarterback really helped them understand every other position on the field so much more, because it's your job to know what everyone's doing on the field. Back out of the timeout, KG under center. He'll give it off once more. Inching at the goal line, extending and getting it is Odom. Odom in for the score.
Yeah, we talk about that, the rarely used run game there, but that was a nice play concept design. You kind of fake like everything's going to the right here, and you think it's going to be a quick hitter with the motion man wide receiver, but you get a lead blocker in front. It's almost like a trap play that they run, and that might not have been Odom. Was Odom the lead blocker? Or no, that wasn't.
Odom with the
Odom.
run.
Yeah, lead blocker was number 12. Looked like defensive lineman MJ Sherman pulling double duty. So you'll see that a lot too today, partner. Guys are playing different positions all over the field, defensive, offensive linemen, or linebackers and defensive line, whatever it might be.
I love that play call. Get your big man out in front, lay a big block. That's huge. And just like that, we're back to a one-score game. 6 points difference. And already seeing that blocked extra point could make a difference here early on in this first quarter. We'll take a brief step aside here on the IAL YouTube channel provided by the Sports Fan Base Network. We'll be right back. Great to have you back here at Santander Arena, where the Pennsylvania Benjamins are currently leading the Utah Grade 8's 20-14. 3 minutes remaining here in quarter number 1, and Bisco lets one fly and once more knocks off the scoreboard, and that's going to give advantageous positioning to the Pennsylvania Benjamins. Looks like they blew the play at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, and these kickers are going to have to figure something out, because I'm sure neither head coach Lee Johnson nor Coach Burley are going to be too happy with giving field position at midfield, because their kicker keeps hitting the scoreboard. So these kickers got to figure something out where they can drive the ball. It might take away the possibility of kicking that deuce, where you kick a kickoff through the uprights and get 2 points, but you gotta have better field position than this.
Yeah, early on in this contest, we saw both teams try the squib approach, and that stagnated the return quite a bit. Both returns out to about the 15 and 20. As now Caldwell drops, he'll go deep once more. Almost intercepted, dangerous positioning, and a fantastic play made by a very excited Utah great. Take a look at the replay here.
Yeah, you can see here, just missed. And tell you what, it's a dangerous game down there when you're not paying attention. That cameraman almost took about 3 adult-sized men into the boards there.
Yeah, that was Keon Query streaking across the backside of that play. Got his hands on the ball, couldn't come down with it, number 5 for Utah. Caldwell, once again, this time able to find his mark, spinning away from traffic and being brought down at the 10-yard line is Artie Perrone from Westchester.
Yeah, that's a great catch there by Artie Perrone, the local product, Westchester University. Watched an interview of him not too long ago. He said, I thought I was done. I was, my playing career was just about done, and got the opportunity to come out here and play for the Benjamins, and trying to make the most of it here. He climbs the ladder, makes a great catch, and then he's got some barking to do in the face of the Utah defenders.
Samaj Brown almost had a fingertip on it, but Iman Caldwell able to just squeeze it through that tight window. Now Caldwell back under center, got Peyton as the motion man. Peyton, they'll go, and they'll just flip it off to the fullback. That's Katrakazis. Katrakazis, the big man, brought down after a 2-yard gain. Some scuffling here on the near side between O-line and D lineman. That's Daryl Spencer for the Benjamins caught up in it.
How do you not love a running back that's got a belly hanging out? Probably maybe bigger than mine, I don't know. But Katrakazis getting it done down there. He's McDaniel product. I think he had himself a touchdown last week.
Yeah. Yeah, Katrakazis, former defensive lineman in college. So you can see this. He was a fullback when he first entered, and now switched to defensive lineman later in his college career. Back to fullback here in the IAL. Right into the end zone to Peyton. It's knocked away, and Keon Query has got something to say about it.
Yeah, it's a great play there by Clary and Texas A&M. We talked about Keon Clary being a veteran defensive back, Texas A&M product. He was with the Storm last year. He was with the Storm in the Arena Football League 1. This guy's been around the block a little bit, played high level of football, showed himself there, getting it done for Utah in that secondary.
That's 2 big plays this possession by Cleary. First one almost got an interception on the first deep ball. Second one there, breaking it up against Peyton, and that'll do it for quarter number 1. So we'll take a brief step aside. Pennsylvania Benjamins up 20-14 over the Utah Grade 8's. Happy to welcome you back in where the Pennsylvania Benjamins are driving at the 11-yard line. Caldwell flanked by Katrakazis. Motion man on the way. Caldwell lets it fly. Open Peyton in the back of the end zone. Benjamins up 26-14. And you gotta love the big man spike from the center, Jake Swerple, as this Benjamins team is ecstatic.
Absolutely. Nice play here. Another touchdown from Jeremiah Payton coming across the middle. You see Perone there in motion holding that linebacker. Caldwell able to find Payton across the middle. Makes it look easy for his second score of the day. He was my player to watch coming into this one. He must have heard me from up here in the booth, partner, because he's living up to it today so far.
Yeah, look at you. A little omnipotence up here.
Yeah. Speaking of whatever word you just said, if anybody in that chat that's watching, number 19. I don't have number 9. I'm looking for 19 on our roster here, and I don't see him.
Yeah, it's one of the few gaps, and again, a missed extra point opportunity. No good. Wide right this time. So Pennsylvania having some issues on the extra point. That could be the crease Utah needs to slip back into this one. 14-18 on the clock in this second quarter.
Well, there's always so much scoring in these games, and like you said, it's such a unique scoring game where you might miss an extra point here or there. It's always interesting to see what comes back to bite you at the end of the day, because just because it's 26-14 right now, we got plenty of time in this one. And I've seen arena games go, 66-64. You never know what's going to happen. So,
yeah, both of these teams 1-0 their previous games. Utah won 46-33 at Cincinnati visited them. And as for Pennsylvania, they went over to Vegas, beat Vegas 41-34, so already on pace to hit that high scoring total. Pennsylvania awarded 4 points in the standings for an away win. Utah awarded 3 points in the standings for a home win.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool wrinkle in the scoring format, in the standing format too. You get 3, you get more. It's almost like soccer in Europe. You get more points for a goal on an away stadium than you do in a home stadium.
Kickoff underway. There's a crease, and it's going to be exploited. Stiff arm. Oh, just brought down by the face mask. That was the kicker, Dawson Evitz, saving the touchdown, and now tempers are starting to flare all across the field. It was Harold Miles who was intertangled with a Utah player around midfield. The flag on the return should be a face mask, as that's how place kicker Dawson Evitz brought down.
Yeah, you can see on the replay here. I thought it took him a while to throw this flag. Brown gets just absolutely manhandled by the face mask there, and it's going to put him a little bit closer to the end zone.
Yeah, great job to our cameraman Dave Roberts there. Great shot as Samaj Brown still had Dawson Evitz still had his finger wrapped around Samaj Brown's face mask even 3 to 5 seconds after he was on the ground. Play was over. Can't get much clearer than that. As now Connor Cagey back on the field. Some work to be done, but after the fantastic return from Brown, little help from the penalty, they find themselves on the 6-yard line. Cagey sets his man in motion. He'll give it away to Odom, and Odom gonna lose 3, blown up by 3 Benjamins, meeting him immediately.
Yeah, it's the risk that you run there in the run game when you're running in arena football. You just toss it out to the running back, and if you're not getting any positive yards, you could lose yardage very quick, and that's exactly what happened there. And that's Josh Pryor, number 0. Talked about his time with the Washington Commanders, the Bowie State product, making his presence felt here in the first half of this one.
That time just able to shoot past the tackle, exploit that gap. Now we're approaching the 13-minute mark. Second down now for Utah. Second and goal. Cagey looks, fires. Got it through for a moment, but it's incomplete. Chris Jackson just couldn't hang on to it. DeMonte McCurdy defending.
Yeah, Jackson's got to be able to catch this pass. It's a nice corner route. Nice ball from KG up and over the defender. This hits Jackson right in the hands. Jackson's got to make that play. Nice play there by 21 McCurdy, being able to swat it away at the very last minute. McCurdy coming in. We talk about highly touted prospects all over the place. Talk about a 4-year starter at Grand Valley State, which is one of the best Division II programs in the country, over 100 tackles. So no slouch of his own right in that secondary, making his presence felt by breaking up that pass.
Absolutely. He had 13 passes defended at Grand Valley State. And now KG. He'll attack through the air once more, rolling out to the near side. He'll run with it and be blown up along the wall. And now brought down to the turf after the whistle. That was Josh Pryor in the mix.
Yeah, as a quarterback there, KG, if you could hear me up here, I'm talking to you, man. You don't want to take those hits. You got to get rid of that football, all right? So he's going to, nothing's there. I don't like the route concept here. You had two guys in the same position, but right there, throw the ball away because you got guys barreling down on you. You're not going to make it to the end zone, and going into those boards does not feel good, as you can imagine, I'm sure.
And how about Josh Pryor on that last play? You can see him, he's lined up in the same spot on this play, on that far side edge. He got past his defender, ran all the way across the formation from far side to near side, and ended up making that play on the near side boards. How about the motor? KG, he'll drop once more, let it fly, back of the end zone, caught. That's Cameron Stimson, bringing this to a 26-20 contest.
Yeah, another bobbled snap, though, partner. You had another bobbled snap there. It really affected the timing. Watch KG here underneath. He gets the ball, okay? There's a little flinch there. He almost gets his foot stepped on, but he's able to find the crossing. Stimson throws it off of his back foot, a little jump throw.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Not saying these guys aren't good, but they were dang sure lucky on that play.
Yeah, to your point there, it just seems like everything's a little bit harder here for Utah. Everything coming a little bit more naturally to Pennsylvania, at least these scoring drives are, as that extra point knocked through by Spencer Bisco. So that brings us to a 5-point game. 10 minutes remaining here in quarter number 2. We'll take a brief step aside. You're watching the IAL YouTube channel, brought to you by the Sports Fan Base Network. Welcome back to the International Arena League, brought to you by the Sports Fan Base Networks, SFBN. Has now returned, had some space and brought down along the 15. That's Raymond Boone. Boone looked like he had a little bit of daylight. One man left to beat, but nice open field tackle from Utah.
Yeah, for sure. Good tackle there, and good to see Boone get up because he kind of got twisted up, looked kind of nasty at the end there, but no harm, no foul for Boone, and he's, off the field. And we haven't seen a whole lot of the Pennsylvania offense. It's like I feel like every chance we get, the Utah grade 8s are on offense here. So you see another one from Caldwell. They score pretty quick is what I'm trying to say. That's what it seems like anyway.
Yeah, that's the big key. It's been long, drawn-out drives from Utah, but quick, deep balls or kick returns from Pennsylvania. Caldwell, he'll set Peyton in motion. Drops, looks, firing deep once more. It's Peyton. He's got it along the board, and Peyton brought down at the 14.
Yeah, it's just, that's textbook arena football routes there. Again, we talked about it before. Peyton's the guy who comes in motion. He's either got a post route or he's got a corner route, and he's going to break his route off of the off of the safety back there. As soon as Caldwell sees him, he's able to throw him to open field, and it's a very simple concept, able to pick up a good chunky yardage there on a very simple passing concept when it comes to the arena football game.
Yeah, good to see Jeremiah Payton get up and celebrate as he's continuing to do so after getting knocked into the boards there. Payton, the motion man. Caldwell will send him. Drops, looking. He's under pressure, taking a hit, somehow able to stay on his feet for a moment, brought down for a sack. Credit goes to Jordan Dominic for Utah, catching Caldwell, bringing him down at the 22.
And that's the way that the Utah defense is going to have to disrupt this pass game. They haven't figured out a way to stop Payton and Caldwell connection yet, but they could do so with a good pass rush. You can see there, when you get away with a hand and a helmet there, but you can see Dominic getting around the right tackle there. It's number 73, Darrell Spencer. But you're going to have to put some pressure on Caldwell if you're Utah in order to slow down this receiving core for the Benjamins. You see on the field there, it's number 5. He hasn't been on the field the last couple of drives. That's Antwain Grant. Talk about, litany of accolades for him.
Grant now in motion. Look to him for a moment. Ball tipped high into the air and not able to be brought in by the Utah defender, but enough to get away with pushing it to 3rd and 20.
Yeah, going back to Grant. Grant was a Western Kentucky product, had himself a nice career. Spent training camp with the Cincinnati Bengals, played in a couple preseason games, and then was the 2019 Rookie of the Year in the Arena Football League. Pennsylvania Benjamins have players all over the field, and they just got guys coming off their bench that, have NFL experience. And Grant's not off the bench, but he hasn't been playing in the last couple series, is what I'm saying.
That 2019 season for Grant, he had 72 receptions, 959 receiving yards, and Grant back in at the motion spot. Dropping, Caldwell under pressure, rocked at the 15-yard line, brought down once more, and Utah starting to settle in a little bit. That was Cameron Green. Green just smothering.
Yeah, watching the replay here, not a whole lot to do here in the secondary for Utah because Caldwell is under so much pressure. Cameron Green making his presence known in a very rare 4th and long here for Pennsylvania, which we haven't seen so far today. And great job by the Utah defense. And I told you, earlier in this drive, if they're going to be able to help that secondary, they could do so with that pass rush, and they've certainly made their presence known with 2 sacks this drive alone.
Yeah, no doubt. And on that last play, if it wasn't Green, Dominic was going to get home. Both edge rushers had beat the tackles. Gabe Rankings and Darrell Spencer for Pennsylvania both beat quickly, so we'll see a kick and see if the score bug, or the Jumbotron rather, comes into play once more. Kicks away. It's up. No good. Wide left. Fielded off the fence, and the officials will blow it dead.
Yeah, I guess there's no returning it like you would see in Arena 1 where you could return it off the nets, but that kick was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Evitz was able to keep it low, and he drove it. Scoreboard didn't come into play, and just misses it a little bit wide left.
Yeah, I almost wonder if trying to push it underneath is what lost him a little bit of that accuracy. It's tough to drive those balls low and accurately, but as a result, Utah's going to take over on the 5-yard line, and they are within 1 score here. After the 2 missed extra points, they could take the lead on this possession. Yeah,
and that's what we talked about earlier with this arena football game. It's just, you can't count yourself out until those clock hits zeros, because you never know what's going to happen offensively or defensively or special teams wise.
Absolutely. It's been a dynamic game already. 5:38 remaining in this first half. Connor Cagey. He'll drop, looking, firing deep. Got a man, elevating, not going to come down with it. Tough catch to make. That was Jadakiss Bonds, who is trying to snatch that one over Rodney Hall.
Yeah, you can see here Bonds goes up and tries to elevate to make the catch, but just Cagey just not looking comfortable in the pocket here. you know, he's got pressure in his face. Obviously, it looks like his center was getting blown up a little bit by that defensive tackle. But if KG's got a second here to set his feet and deliver a good football and drive it with some accuracy, these Utah grade 8s will be better for it.
Once again, Bonds on Hull on that far side. Motion man on the way. Stop route. Nice catch through some. That was Cameron Stimson who was able to corral that. An absolute heater from KG.
Yeah, he throws a fastball in there, and it's just a little stop route there by Stimson. He's able to secure it with great hands, but you got to put that ball on the inside shoulder, make it easier on your receivers, because, partner, not for nothing, you put that ball on the inside shoulder, that receiver can make an inside move and put his foot in the ground and get upfield and gain extra yardage. There, he throws it behind him, and he falls down for a minimal gain, and now you're facing third and 5 here.
Yeah, and at the bare minimum, maybe not break it for a long play, but at least get it to 3rd and short, maybe a first down, as KG drops once more. Tipped at the line, able to be caught, and Stimson brought down for a first down at the 23.
Yeah, solid effort there from Stimson and a good pass from KG. Just finding the window in between those defenders there and finding a way to move the sticks, which is the name of the game here in the arena, or the International Arena League. Keep the ball moving forward. Ball got tipped there. Utah gets away with one.
It looked like that was Rodney Hall again who got his hand on it. You said earlier, better be lucky than good sometimes.
For sure.
Maybe you get an example of it there. A tip going right to Stimson's waiting arms. 3:30 on the clock. Bonds out to the far side. The motion man is Jackson. Going deep. Hung up for a moment was Jackson. Jackson wants a foul. He's not going to get one. And DeMonte McCurdy letting him know who's boss.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. If I was that receiver, too, I'd be calling for a flag as well. I thought it was a clear hold. I don't know if we're going to see it here. Jackson tries, his first route was that corner route. He tried going to the corner, but the defensive back had a hold of the jersey, and then he had to transfer into a post route.
See Bonds heading to the sideline here.
The old adage, though, it's only a flag if they call it, or it's only a penalty if they throw the flag, right?
There you go. And this is purely personal preference, but if I had to make my decision, I would rather officials undercall games than overcall. There's nothing fun about watching a ref show. We come here to see these athletes perform at the highest level as KG finds Jackson on the outside, and Jackson is pummeled into the boards close to the first down marker.
Yeah, and those are the hits that kind of take their toll after a game. You know, everybody comes out in the beginning of the game, they're all full of energy, but you take a few of those hits into the boards and those pads look soft, but I promise you that they're not that soft, and underneath of them is nothing but hockey boards. So you take a few of them, it definitely wears your body down over the course of a ball game.
Especially when you're going against a physical team like the Pennsylvania Benjamins. This linebacking core, comprised of Jalen Green and Harold Miles III, is punishing. Crowd starting to get into it here at Santander Arena. KG thought about it for a moment, pump fakes, and he's brought down by that's Josh Pryor who got to him first. Marcos Katakazis coming in on the back end.
Yeah, and that's another great play there by the Benjamins defensive line. And you talk about pulling double duty. You got Katakazis playing fullback and defensive line. He was a defensive lineman in college, but again, going back to KG, like, you cannot, in this game, you cannot go to your second and third options. It's just not going to be there. You don't have the time to do it. If you don't have that first option, you go to the second option really quickly. If not, you throw the ball away, and looks like there's a timeout on the field here, partner.
Yeah, it's a timing-based game, as you mentioned, and you said it earlier. He just looks a little bit scared in the pocket. Well,
yeah, I don't want to say scared.
That's
no,
a tough word to say, but uncomfortable was the better word that you used.
Sure.
His feet just seem a little frantic when he's being faced with pressure, and not a lot of confidence when stepping into throws. A lot of back foot throws, a lot of jump passes we've seen. So I think that's kind of what KG has to find in this late first half and the start of the second half as we approach that.
I mean, it's a fast game. Obviously, it's a fast game, and it's a very small field.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room for error, and the last thing you want to do is throw turnovers. done a good job of not turning the ball over other than a fumbled snap, but not throwing interceptions.
So out of the timeout, Jackson on the far side. Stimson the motion. Stimson going deep. They'll go underneath and blowing up an absolute hospital ball. And Harold Miles lays the punishment.
Yeah, that's Joe Noden, receiver for Utah, coming across the middle. And we just talked about delivering good footballs, and KG again just lining his receiver up to get absolutely smoked. And Noden isn't going to want to take a whole lot of those shots coming across the middle. That ball was behind him. Noden does a good job of trying to make the play on the ball, unable to do so, and takes an absolute licking because of it. Joe Noden, in his own right, an IFL champion back in 2023 with Bay Area team.
This is the 1-minute warning.
We've hit the 1-minute warning here at Santander Arena in this first half. Utah still within a score. It feels like this possession's dragged on forever.
Yeah, been a fun first half.
Yeah.
High scoring, high energy, great crowd on hand. I think the energy's been high in the arena most of the day, and they've been treated to a good football game here so far. And listen, a minute left in arena football is like a minute left in college basketball or NBA basketball. It's going to be the longest minute of your life because there's all stoppages. So hang on to your hats. This one might not be finished with the ending of this drive here.
Let me ask you this, as a former arena football player, did Connor Cagey have anything to argue during that break there? Have you seen anything that I just saw him bickering with the official? Looked like he might have wanted a call on that last pass.
I didn't see any calls on the last drive, no. But again, when you're taking shot after shot after shot, you always look for something to try and help you.
Yeah.
That receiver looked offsides.
They'll go to him, and just a bit long on the pass to Chris Jackson. Defending was Devontae McCurdy.
Yeah, you see Jackson there. Usually they'll give you like a 1 or 2 yard leeway there, grace period with the receivers who go in motion, but I thought he was a little bit further past that. But again, just not able to connect with Jackson over the middle. If that ball was a little bit more accurate, he had some room to get that touchdown in there, but
Definitely
Grade 8's got to get it going here on 4th down if they want to take their first lead in the ball game. Definitely
had a step, and now setting up an uncomfortable 4th and about 14. KG heads back under center. Stimson, the slot guy. Jackson, the motion man. Alden on the near side. Looks like defender might have jumped. They're not going to call it. Stimson going deep. Nobody home. And on the back end, KG is absolutely buried, being helped to his feet. So that'll be a turnover on downs. No flags to intervene, and KG's furious.
It's a great job there by the Pennsylvania Benjamins defense to get off the field and put their offense on with a couple seconds here left in the first half. Not giving up any points and able to secure that lead, but you can see the replay here.
Yeah,
I could see.
Got away with one there.
For sure. It looked like an offside. Should have been called there. That's number 18. Who was that?
18. That's Antonio Doyle, who just jumped a little bit. Maybe the official saying he didn't cross into the neutral zone.
Partner.
It looked like he did to me.
Yeah, it looked pretty cut and dry to me too, and that might have put him in position for a first down. But nonetheless, again, only penalty if it's called, and it wasn't called. So Pennsylvania's going to take over on offense and try and put one in here.
Yeah, you almost wonder if KG just threw that one away, thinking that was a free play and they'll get another opportunity at it. But either way, back into the hands of Caldwell, and Caldwell frustrated with himself on that one.
Yeah, not sure if there was miscommunication between Caldwell and the receiver or not, but
it looked to me that that elusive number 19, who we are still unaware of the name of, apologies to number 19, but he was open deep, and Caldwell saw him afterwards.
Yeah, it's always tough as a quarterback too. You have the receivers coming back to you screaming about how open they were. It's like, all right, well, you guys try coming back here and seeing everything as fast as I have to see it. So I could definitely empathize with the quarterback a little bit there.
Yeah, no doubt. Peyton on the near side in motion. Caldwell drops under pressure. He'll step up, flag down, and over the middle, able to be caught back up to the feet is number 19. We'll check on the flag.
I don't understand why the whistle blew. without being touched. Unless that's a rule in this league where it's like college where the whistle blows or the ball's down when you touch the ground.
That one going against Utah. They'll decline it. Results of the play will stand. First down, 43 remaining in half number 1 here at Santander Arena. So Caldwell getting the play call, headed back into the huddle. It's the first time we've, apart from a couple of sacks in the last possession, but we're really starting to see Utah settle in with their pressure. Caldwell's been under duress for the last few minutes.
Pennsylvania taking a long time. They've taken 20 seconds so far off the clock here.
Payton in motion. Caldwell drops. He'll roll out to his left, letting one fly into the end zone, incomplete. Bodies all over the turf on the near side 20. That was a pancake block from Darrell Spencer, but
I don't know about that. That's why Coach Burley's going absolutely crazy down there. There's a listen.
Keep an eye here on the middle of your screen.
Caldwell trying to extend the play with his legs, but I think that there was a hold right there. I mean, come on. The guy's buried him. The referee's looking right at it, and I'm not one to bury the officials because they got a tough job to do as well. But when it happens right in front of you, you got to call it when it's right in front of you, and that's two big plays that have gone against Utah in the last 2 drives. Coach is going to call a timeout here.
Yep. So that will be a timeout called. Dancing on the far side is Payton. Payton, high energy all throughout this game. Already 2 touchdowns. Got to wonder, is Payton going to be the guy they head to here at the 16-yard line with 11 seconds remaining here in this first half?
Well, he's made some significant catches already in this game, and if you need a big play here with 11 seconds left, why not go to him? But again, you have to have the time to throw. It's going to be on the offensive line and that fullback to give Caldwell the time to throw. I'm going to work. It's going to be my personal mission at halftime to find out who number 19 is.
Absolutely.
So you can get that name going.
Yeah, absolutely. We're professionals here.
Yes.
But as for the protection aspect of it, have you seen anything that's really changed? Or has it just been the one-on-one matchups have started to go into the way of Utah?
I just think, at the start of the game, and we talked about it earlier, everybody's full of energy. The start of the game is kind of like an even playing field, and then it's just, it's a title fight, man. It's punch for punch for punch, and these guys start to settle in. And guess what? Typically, these defensive linemen, they're a little bit more in shape than the offensive linemen. So the offensive linemen could be getting tired.
Yeah.
We talked about Utah using defensive linemen at the linebacker position. So they're not true big uglies like you might expect. So they got some skill guys out there on the edge for sure.
That's a great point. 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Mon Caldwell under center. Katrakazi's flanking him to his right. Caldwell drops. He's going towards the end zone. It's Payton not able to corral it. Payton hit in the air. And Payton, a little mental mistake there. Looked like he went underhanded to receive that pass. If he'd gone over, maybe a slightly better opportunity. But either way, clock stops with 7.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That ball was, pretty well overthrown. If you see here on the replay, it's Payton crossing the field. Ball goes pretty high. I don't know if that's in fast forward or those guys are moving that quick.
Yeah.
But that
man, oh man. Some athletes here at Santander Arena.
Tell you what, man. I'll tell you though, those camera people in the end zone scare me, man. You gotta get them out of there.
Oh
especially when the ball's going to that zone.
That's a bold move for them to sit there.
You can't have camera people in the end zone there.
Well, Caldwell
Another
under
fumble.
pressure, ball's loose. Picked up, it's the big man, Spencer, and Spencer will safely exit the half. And is Spencer able to get to his feet? Yes, he is. Good to see. So that will do it for half number 1. The Pennsylvania Benjamins up 26-21. It's been back and forth, high octane, and a fumble is a fitting way to end it.
Yeah, it's been a fun first half and just a tough way to end it for Pennsylvania. If you're Utah, you have all the momentum in the world going into halftime. We're going to see how both teams come out of this halftime and come out in the second half ready to go. But fun game nonetheless. Great atmosphere. Can't wait for for the finale of this one.
Absolutely. So stick with us here on the IAL YouTube channel, brought to you by SFBN. We'll be back in about 20 minutes or so with the second half of the Pennsylvania Benjamins and the Utah Grade 8s. Stick with us. It's great to have you back at the start of the third quarter here, where the Pennsylvania Benjamins are on top 26-21 over the visiting Utah Great 8's. My name's Ryan Cuny alongside my partner Andrew Daly. We've had a good first half so far, and Utah to receive. So Andrew, what's on deck for Utah here to close that 5-point lead?
Yeah, it was a great first half, a lot of back and forth battles. What we saw out of Utah towards the end of the first half was that front three for the Utah defense really putting pressure on the Pennsylvania offense. But listen, Utah's receiving the ball here. They need a good opening drive. KG needs to come out and really set the tone here for the Utah offense. Maybe get a little bit more confident and deliver some footballs with a little bit more accuracy.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Samaj Brown with his heels on goal line, and squib kick launched into the waiting arms of Keon Cleary. Cleary brought down at the 17, and we'll get things underway from there.
It's a little bit better than kicking the ball into the scoreboard.
That's a little bit.
You drive it low and you make a tackle, and you make them go a little bit further the length of the field rather than giving them a ball on their own side of the 25-yard line, so to speak. But
saved yourself 6 yards in this instance. So with Benjamin's defense, a little bit more space to work. But as you mentioned earlier, sometimes it's harder for the quarterbacks to operate up in close than it is to really work the length of the field. You have so much space when you have the full length of the field to work with. KG under center. He'll send his man in motion. That's Stimson. KG looked like he fumbled the snap once more, fumbled completely, and the Benjamins might have possession here. Let's see. It's a fight for the ball. A referee's indicating it's the Benjamins' possession. On the far side, McCurdy is ecstatic, already jaunting to the sideline, and now on his feet with possession. It's number 10, Jalen Green.
Yeah, Jalen Green is having himself an absolutely awesome day. And if you're Utah and Coach Burley now, you got to be kind of frustrated with the lack of, snap control that the quarterback and the center have. It's at least the third or fourth fumble exchange that we've seen. One of them led to a touchdown earlier in the game. This one, you get the ball inside their own 15-yard line. This is day one stuff, and I understand these guys haven't had a whole lot of time together, but this guy's been playing quarterback his whole life. The center's been playing center. You got to get the snap under control, or this game's going to get out of hand.
Couldn't agree more. That's the bare minimum, and that fumble almost purely because of the missed snap. Now the pitch to Katrakazis, and Katrakazis pushed out at the 10-yard line.
I mean, I just can't get over the fact that, at this level of football, we have a team where the quarterback and the center can't figure out how to get the exchange. And it's costing the team, obviously, valuable points here.
And that was a huge momentum possession to start off this half. I mean, you look back at the start of this game, it was a huge momentum boost for Pennsylvania on the kickoff return. You think, all right, Utah, you're hanging in there after really what could have gone wrong did go wrong in that first half, and now right back to the same old story at the start of the second.
Yeah, and you give Pennsylvania the ball when they weren't supposed to have it, and it's a stolen possession. It's what it is.
Josh Reese, number 19, to the near side. Caldwell going to go the opposite direction. He was trying to find Peyton, and Peyton just unable to get his hands on it, just beyond his outstretched arms.
Yeah, Caldwell sailed that one a little too high for Peyton to bring in on a little crossing route. Saw number 5 there, it was Antoine Grant. Looked to be open in the back of the end zone, but Caldwell wasn't looking his way.
Caldwell going to head back in to the huddle, where if you can get a defensive stand here on third down, 3rd and 4th, it's almost certain that they're going to go for it on 4th, barring something unforeseen. If you can get a stop here defensively, Utah has to be feeling good about themselves. Here's a snap. Steps up in the pocket, taking a hit. That ball pushed out of bounds. Uncontrolled throw. Cameron Green breaking it up.
Yeah, really great blitz there. And surprised none of the little kids ran over. You can tell none of these kids have seen the arena football game before, because if the ball goes into the stands, you get to keep it.
Yeah.
Go run after that ball, but great pressure there by Utah again and forcing Caldwell into a bad throw. And like you just mentioned, if they can force a turnover here on 4th down, it's a really big momentum boost for this defense. But the Utah offense has got to get it going, and they got to make something click here.
Yeah.
But you know, you got one more play here for Pennsylvania. 2
of the Pennsylvania scores have been from defense or special teams, so it's not like the offense has been firing on all cylinders, giving them this 26-21 lead. It's been a team effort. Caldwell, he's hit once more, dropped, turnover on downs. Fantastic penetration. That was Jordan Dominic credited with the sack, and now some tempers flaring. Some pushing and shoving at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and if you're Utah, you just got to get out of there, man.
Yeah.
You just got to turn over on downs from your defense. You don't want any dumb penalties to cost your team already more field position than you've been in. You watch here this Utah defensive front, and they've been putting the pressure on. It took them a while to get going. Great swim move there by the defensive end. That's looks like number 4 up there.
Yeah, it's Dominic.
Jordan Dominic, and it was a great swim move there. But then at the end of the day, you got a lot of chipping, a lot of pushing and shoving. Just get back on the bench. Let your offense go out there and try and put points up on the board. You don't want to cost your team any unnecessary penalties, but great defensive stand there for Utah. Listen, it's on this quarterback and KG to get it going here for this Utah offense.
No doubt about it, and despite the strong stand, you can see the defense of the Benjamins still high energy, a little dancing in between plays. KG, quick pass out to the side. It's Bonds. Bonds able to shake free for a gain of 5.
And that's one way to kind of get some confidence back in your quarterback is complete those short yardage plays and get the ball in your playmaker's hands. But again, at some point, you're going to have to be able to stretch the field, and Utah hasn't done a great job of that so far today.
Yeah, a lot of that's been, whether you want to call it the short time Connor KG's had or the erraticness in his footwork, whatever you want to pin the blame on. Either way, you're right. That downfield passing game just has not been prevalent. Stimson in motion. Once again, close to the line, but got off in time. Able to find a gap. Was that a catch or a fumble? They're going to rule it a fumble. A fight for it. It's going to be tight at the bottom of the pile. It's Pryor, and they'll say once again, the Benjamins recover the fumble. It was Jalen Green again who came away from the pile with his hands on the football. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, you see the replay here, and KG's able to get the ball out quick, throws a quick hitch route to his receiver.
That's a catch.
Man, it is a catch, but it's another unfortunate situation. It's kind of like what can go wrong will go wrong for this Utah offense here early on in the second half, and they've turned the ball over now on both possessions. And you're in a one-possession game. It's, not a recipe for success if you're the Utah grade 8s.
No, it is not. Tough to win games when your turnover differential is skewed in this fashion and the way towards Pennsylvania. But like you said, Murphy's Law in full effect. What can go wrong will go wrong. In motion, Antoine Grant. It's going to go the opposite direction to Katrakazis, and Katrakazis taking every Utah defender to bring him down. Big hit there on the far side.
Yeah, you can see tempers here at the middle of the field. Like these guys just
looks like we got a situation on the far side.
If you're the referees, at some point you just got to throw the flags.
Yeah.
This guy's got him by the face mask and won't let him go. That's number 73 there, Darrell Spencer. I can't believe that there was no flag thrown there. And if you don't get control of this game as the officials here, it's going to continue to get worse.
And there's still plenty of time for this game to fall into disarray. 7 minutes remaining here in the third quarter.
That's number 99. It looks like Tupa Alulu for Utah, and he was the same person who came off the last possession and just was chirping to the Pennsylvania team. And listen, Pennsylvania is not innocent either, but just come out and play ball, man. That's what I can't get behind in some of these games here. You just go out and play ball. I know it's high energy, high intensity, but play within the whistles.
Back on the way, Caldwell under center, Grant in motion, Peyton to the slot. They're going deep, and Caldwell just throwing it into a gap as he gets buried on the backside.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there between Antwain Grant and Caldwell. Grant zigged and Caldwell zagged, and you can see the result of the play there is a ball that doesn't go within 10 yards of anybody.
Yeah, you could tell the frustration starting to get to Grant a little bit. After that last possession, that turnover, he immediately ripped off his helmet, and you could see he was expressing some frustration to the sideline. And after that miscommunication, you could see palms to the ceiling and kind of gesturing towards the huddle. Can only guess as to what he was saying. Grant, once again, about 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage on the motion. It's Reese on the near side. Caldwell quickly to Peyton, way too high.
Oh.
That rockets into the stands.
No, that just knocked over somebody's adult beverage out there. You can't do that. You gotta get that lady a refund.
Yeah, Iman Caldwell's gotta pay her out of pocket for that.
Listen, Caldwell, they get the football out of it. She gets to keep the football,
right.
But Caldwell airmails one here, and you can see it go into the third row, and bang, right there, the light beverage goes flying in the air. And
hey,
tell you what,
she didn't spill it all.
No.
She's still holding on to it. Got to give her credit.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see there, and fun times. And you can see just the crowd here at Santander Arena and the fun that everybody's having. And like you said, the football is going to the stands. From an ownership group, you don't like to see it, but the fans love it because they get to keep the footballs.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, them footballs now are close to $100 a pop.
Yeah, we saw these brand new balls. Maybe that's why these quarterbacks struggling to get a grip on it, launching it high.
Maybe.
New balls that they're working with today. Grant in motion on the far side. Caldwell has time. Intercepted. It's picked off over the middle. That one's Samaj Brown. Brown just lurking, and Caldwell never saw him.
Samaj Brown, the first-year pro from Chicago, Illinois, out of Houston Christian, making his presence felt in the return game, now making his presence felt in the defensive game, sitting back, waiting patiently, reading the eyes of Caldwell. Great job of adjusting, and he throws it right to him, and he makes a nice return and sets this Utah grade 8's offense up in a great field position. But
yeah,
see
now
what they
back
can
to
do.
KG.
Yep, see what the offense can do with it. They've turned the ball over on their first two possessions now.
Yeah, it's been interesting as this first half was all offense, all scoring, and now this third quarter we are almost or over 10 minutes through without a single point scored, which is almost unheard of here in arena football.
Yeah, it really is.
Especially in the high-octane league that is the International Arena League, which we appreciate you spending your Sunday afternoon with us here at the International Arena League and the Sports Fan Base Network. Great to have you. Jumping on the line. Flags go. Open play. Caught. Huge catch from Jadakiss Bonds over the middle. Flags down. Let's see where it goes against.
That's going to be offsides on the defense. It was a free play. They actually get the call that time. They didn't get it the last time, and KG just throws one up to Bonds. Bonds goes up and get it. This flag should be declined. The grade 8s will be on the move here offensively.
Yep. Oh, but they got two flags on the play. They got a holding offensively as well as the offsides on the defense, so that will be offsetting penalties. We'll reset first down here.
All right.
So what was a solid gain on first down that maybe gives some air to this offense we haven't yet seen. Nice completion from Connor KG. That's going to be wiped away, offsetting penalties.
Yeah, it's always a tough situation there.
Yeah.
Didn't see the holding there, but I'm sure it happened. And back to work for the offense.
Stimson, the motion man. He'll go. Bonds in the slot. They'll go right to Bonds. Bonds had no idea it was coming. KG just let it fly after one step in his drop. Bonds hadn't even turned his head.
Yeah, I mean, just not a good play there by KG. You'll see he takes one step and the receiver isn't even out of his break yet, and not possible for him to make that catch.
Even if he had caught that, I mean, there's really nowhere to go. You've got Harold Miles, who's a very hard-hitting linebacker, as well as, I believe that was Raymond Boone waiting to greet him. would not have been a situation I'd have been fond of catching a football in front of. Stimson on the near side. Jackson the far side. Fumbled the snap again. Luckily, KG able to get on it this time, but at what point do you look at making a change here? Something's got to happen. This is just going too far.
I'm not sure what Utah has by the way of backup quarterbacks, but I don't know if you're at that point yet. Burley's just got to put his trust in his quarterback. But again, and I'll talk for a second about, obviously, I'm a coach in my own right. I play the quarterback position, but you see this a lot with younger quarterbacks too, with mishandling the snaps because they don't take snaps from underneath the center in college or wherever else they're playing. It's all out of the shotgun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
KG able to field that one cleanly, and that ball tipped at the line, almost intercepted. That was Harold Miles who had his hands on it, but it falls incomplete. And we'll head to fourth down.
Yeah, what was a relatively clean game here in the first half has turned into a very ugly game offensively for both teams in this third quarter so far. You see there that ball's tipped and not able to secure the interception there, but it's another thing that KG has to worry about now. He's focused so much on trying to get that snap that it delays your drops because you can't take your drop until you're sure that you have the ball, and it just slows everything down on offense.
That was Antonio Doyle who got his hand on it, and now Spencer Bisco trying to knock this one through. Kicks on the way, it's up, looks good, and they'll say it is.
It's a great kick there.
Fantastic.
And Bisco is fired up. The kicker down there is fired up. Bisco, the Stony Brook product and the Colgate product down there, getting it done for Utah. And you got to think, if that's the only scoring of the third quarter, it's not very often that you see the only scoring of the game or the quarter being a very long field goal. Good job out of that young man there.
Yeah, certainly it's looking that way. And we'll take another look at this kick. You saw Raymond Boone, the returner. He said it was no good, but just barely slipping inside. Officials disagreeing. 3 points on the board. We're down to a 2-point game here. Benjamin's just barely holding on to that lead. We've got 30 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. So as you mentioned, it's entirely likely, barring another kickoff return, which we already saw once in this contest, that could be the only scoring of this third quarter, which is just shocking, not just for an arena football game, but given the way that this contest was heading in the first half, it seemed to be nonstop scoring. Defenses really couldn't gain any traction. Then we started to see at the end there of the first half, D-line started to settle in, and now it's just been a defensive masterclass on both ends. So back to return is Raymond Boone alongside Jeremiah Payton. Payton had the kickoff return touchdown at the start of this contest in the opening kickoff. Bisco going to go for the onside kick, and it's recovered by Utah, but far too early. They'll say didn't recover it after 10 yards.
Yeah, I don't know. Does it have to be 10 yards or 5 yards in the arena? I guess 10.
I'm going to go 10 as it was set up. Everyone was set up 10 yards back, and see, he got it at the 6-yard line.
Well, you can't do that. That's a terrible way to give the Benjamins the ball back at the 6-yard line there.
Defense going to have to make a big stand here. And keep in mind, you've got Marcos Katrakazis, the big former defensive lineman who currently plays defensive line for your team, back at running back / fullback. Let's see if he's utilized in these short yardage situations. Split out to the near side is Artie Perrone. Payton, the motion man, on the way. It'll be a QB keeper, and he'll be rocked behind the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go for Caldwell. That one, Cameron Green putting an end to that one.
Yeah, it was a great play by the Utah defensive front there, not being fooled on the fake pitch. Caldwell tries to keep it around the corner, and he's not able to get anything, and that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter there, partner. Low-scoring affair.
Yeah, you said it, low-scoring affair. Pennsylvania on the doorstep. We'll start the fourth quarter off at the 9-yard line, 26-24 the score. We've got 15 more minutes of action on the IAL YouTube channel. Stick with us. Great to have you back here on the IAL YouTube channel. My name's Ryan Cuney alongside Andrew Daly, where the Pennsylvania Benjamins are up 26-24 after 45 minutes of play. We've got 15 more to get through. And the Benjamins in prime scoring position right now. Second down on the 9-yard line. Caldwell under center. Peyton on the move. And that pass tipped and intercepted at the line. A turnover. With their backs against the wall, Utah comes away with it, and this team will not go quietly. With his hands on it, it's Cameron Green. Let's take another look.
Cameron Green with a great play here from the defensive line position. Puts his hands up, he tips the ball.
To himself.
Tips it to himself, and he's able to secure the interception.
Wow.
What a great individual effort there by Cameron Green. And this Utah defense has been really playing lights out. I've been saying it, I sound like a broken record here, but the offense has got to follow suit here and pick it up a little bit.
Cameron Green having a spectacular afternoon here. Notched a couple sacks already, tackles for losses, and now an interception. And the tip to himself, all the more impressive. Now it heads to Connor KG, CJ Odom and co. to really get things moving here on their own 10-yard line. Three receiver set. It's Bonds in the slot. Stimson, the motion man on the near side. They'll go right to Stimson. Miscommunication once more. Stimson went for the slant. And KG, he just went for the immediate, what do you call that, go route, I suppose? Like the quick go?
Yeah, the quick, like a now route right off the line of scrimmage. But, yeah, I just looked down, and I'm, from a coaching perspective, I just watched the body language of Coach Burley, and he just puts his hands over his head and almost in disbelief of what's going on with this offense right now. They can't get anything going.
Yeah. Certain point, you wonder if that reflects on the coaching staff as KG hit. Ball's loose. We'll see where the officials point. It looks like the initial indication is it's third down and it'll stay here. That got scary for a moment for the Utah grade 8s as KG lost it again.
This has really turned into a battle of the two better defensive lines. Who could make the most happen up front and create the most chaos in the backfield. And Utah's been holding their own on defense, and now Pennsylvania's been doing a good job with their front three. Not much going for these two offenses here in the second half.
So it's 3rd and 12 now from their own 8-yard line. KG just with nothing getting going. Stimson 5 yards deep in the end zone, now on the way in motion. He'll get jammed right off the line. Flag falls. And being pushed out of bounds is Jadakiss Bonds.
I think that's an illegal defense. Defender was moving before the snap.
Yeah, he was trying to match the positioning of, it looked like, Stimson on the motion. So we'll see what the official call is. That would be huge if it's going to go against Pennsylvania. Just help avoid 4th down in this huge spot. Seems like every possession critical. Still waiting on an official call. It looks like we're not going to get one. And we're not. Oh, there we are. Should have the 3rd down signal here, and we got everything fixed up. All right, there we go. Some mild confusion there as the chain gain and the PA announcer confused me a little bit with their calls, but it is in fact 3rd down after the penalty against Pennsylvania, so that'll be a replay on the down. And now official signaling it's an automatic 1st down. He's calling to his compatriot to get some clarification, and now all kinds of confusion every which way. Dwayne Hollis joining the conversation. Not sure that's going to be too helpful to the officials.
No, it's not, and it's kind of a, I don't want to say a bad look for the officials if they don't know what penalty is a automatic 1st down or not. But clearly the Whitecap wasn't sure. But I think they got it right now.
So if it stands as it's marked, it'll be 3rd and about 7 from the 13-yard line. The Utah grade 8 started this one off at the 10. And that penalty huge, buying them another down. 3rd instead of 4th. Stimson in motion. Stimson, rather. Lobs it to him. He's got his hands on it. 1st down. And brought down along the boards at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, really solid catch there from Stimson. Yeah, good throw. KG makes a good throw on time. There's a nice crossing route there. And we talk about, Utah not being able to drive the ball deep. He sets his feet, still under pressure, but he sets his feet and he doesn't throw off balance, and he's able to deliver a good football. Listen, if you're a quarterback that played at the college level like KG did, you have the arm strength to be able to throw this ball the whole length of the field.
Yeah.
Just put it out there and let your receiver run under it.
Yeah, these guys are talented enough, fast enough. They'll go right to Bonds. Bonds drilled. Bonds took an absolute shot there after about a half a second. Perfect timing. We'll take a look at the replay on the hit from McCurdy.
Yeah, you see here, quick throw again from KG. He doesn't even have time to get the laces, just kind of throws it out there. And you got to wonder if that's playing a trick on these receivers' vision and their eyes throughout the course of the game, because the ball's not coming out in a very tight spiral.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, KG trying to get rid of it quickly. See if that has anything to do with the fact that they're not catching this ball clean.
Correct myself, that hit was from Dwayne Hollis, not McCurdy. KG going right back to Bonds. Bonds trying to shake free, brought down at the 15-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Yeah, good job there by Bonds, making a nice play off of a short catch. And listen, when you have playmakers like these guys at the wide receiver position, makes your job as a quarterback a little bit easier if you just want to kind of throw the ball out there and let them run with it.
Official marking sets it to 3rd and 4, 10:42 and running as KG rejoins the huddle. Seen much more methodical approach, not just in this possession, but the whole context from Utah offensively, whereas Pennsylvania is kind of more that running gun, deep ball type offense. Bonds in motion. KG under duress, gets rid of it. Questions arise if that play is jet or not, and KG is in some severe discomfort on the back end of that play.
Yeah, he's got to get some medical attention. He went face first into the turf.
Yeah.
Don't get him up, please.
No, let him sit down. Flag down on the field, so we'll see what the ruling is. That was 3rd and 4 that happened on. So that would push us to 4th down if nothing changes from this flag, but something tells me it will. And Connor KG has to be holding it, his ribs or lower body, either way. He's greeted now by the medical staff.
I mean, you could hear that hit from up here when he hit the ground, just kind of helmet bouncing off the turf. And,
yeah.
You know, you hope for the best for
Absolutely.
KG there.
So Benjamin's going to head to the sideline. The grade 8's going to huddle up around him. And we'll take a look at that once more. You can see really just driven into the turf there by Jalen Green.
And Green knew it right away. I mean, Green knew it, and he was calling for help. So, yeah, this is going to be a lengthy one.
So at the end of everything, it'll be 4th down. And we'll let the PA announcer call it all out. So the official call was grounding on that, which is loss of down and yardage. And with KG still on the field, we'll take a brief step aside here. Pennsylvania 26-24, 10-10 remaining in this 4th quarter. Great to have you back to Santander Arena, and a pleasant sight for the Utah grade 8s. We saw Connor KG try to battle his way back onto the field, but the officials saying have to sit out for a play. So that brings on the kicking squad. Spencer Bisco, an opportunity to take the lead here. Go up 1 in this 2-point game. Crowd getting loud, trying to make their presence known. Kick on the way. It's up. It is good.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if Bisco made the trip with Utah or they signed him when he was here, but he's definitely going to be making the trip back home with them. That's 2 field goals that he nailed so far. He's got the only points in the second half is the kicker. You're under 10 minutes left in the ball game.
That's wild.
And you've got the only 6 points in the game, or the second half, is the kicker nailing another one to give the grade 8s their first lead of the day.
Critical 6 points they are, as it's a 1-point advantage for Utah. We have seen.
Well, we talked about too earlier in the game. You're talking about the missed extra points and how all this could affect you. You're seeing it now. You get a first half that was electric and fast paced and a lot of scoring, and then you get a second half that's more defensive based, and
Yeah.
now it's coming down to you got a 1-point ball game.
Yeah, if you're coming in late, early on, it was one extra point blocked initially, and the next one just pushed wide right. So 2 points left on the board by Pennsylvania. And you don't have to be a mathematician to know 2 points would be just enough to edge out Utah. But as it stands, 27-26 the score. Benjamin's back to receive. Different formation is now we're seeing Jeremiah Payton a little bit higher up in the formation. Josh Reese as well, and by himself on the end line. Now to receive it is DeMonte McCurdy. McCurdy passes the 10, now through the 15, and he's brought down by 3. So you can see, call it the scoreboard difference of not being able to kick it high and deep, or it's a strategic thing of how many squib kicks we've seen, but that's forced a change in the return team of the Pennsylvania Benjamins, as we saw Jeremiah Payton, who had that kickoff return touchdown really high up, really close to the line, as well as Reese.
Yeah, we'll see if Utah's able to come back out and maintain their stout defensive line play that they've had in this entire second half. They've made Caldwell very uncomfortable the entire game, or the entire second half here.
Yeah. Cameron Green, keep an eye out for him. He's on the near side edge. He's been a big part of that. Closest to your screen at the bottom. In motion is Payton. They'll flip it out to the left. It's the big man diving down and keeping his legs churning despite being down for a solid 3 seconds. Got to respect the effort from Marcos Katrakazis.
I wonder if he thought at this point in his career and his life that, after playing football for so long, that he'd be out there getting carries in a professional game, as many as he's gotten today so far.
Real.
Congrats to the big man down there. He's living the big man dream, looking Jason Kelsey-esque down there
for
with
real.
With the belly hanging out.
And he's produced on both sides of the ball. A couple of tackles defensively, a couple of gives offensively. That time able to gain 2. Caldwell drops. He's got time, going deep. It's Payton. Payton trying to get under it, and just a bit too far, nearly intercepted. Payton gets back to his feet.
Yeah, that's the first time in a while that we've seen Pennsylvania, or really any team, be able to take a deep shot at the end zone. And you see here, that's what Payton, he's got 2 touchdowns already in the first half earlier in this game off of routes very similar to this. If Pennsylvania wants to get back on top of this one, I think they're going to have to start taking those deep shots downfield.
Yeah, that was kind of their offensive identity early on in the game when the points were flowing. Whereas we mentioned a couple of times, Utah's been more slow, methodical. See how that changes, if any, with Connor Cagey getting a little shaken up at the end of that last drive. But either way, it's Mon Caldwell's time right now. Reese in motion. Caldwell drops. He's got time. He'll scamper to the near side and cross the boundary. Whistles sound late. Let's see where they mark him. Caldwell got absolutely thwacked along the wall. You could hear the echoes reverberate out through the stadium, and it looks like they'll spot him at the 20, measly 2-yard gain.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about earlier. In this league, it's wherever you get forced into the boards is where you get deemed down by contact, whether you hit the ground or not, which he didn't. And that's why, and these guys don't know the rules, clearly, because they keep trying to tackle guys to the ground after they've been hit into the boards when technically the play is already dead, and that's where Caldwell got marked down.
And that's Caldwell kind of got grabbed on the neck there to be slowed down and forced into the wall. It's a good thing he did, too, because there was Cameron Green streaking along about a yard in front of him, ready to clean his clock. Caldwell drops, looking, fires, caught, Payton. Payton's got the first down, and he'll be ushered to the ground at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, nice play there by Payton. And again, if you want to get this offense going, you got to get Jeremiah Payton back into the mix of things, and they've done that so far on this drive. Caldwell and Payton being able to find their rhythm that they had so early on and often in the first half.
And that a nice spot, or a nice put on the nice spot, I should say, through 3 defenders. Caldwell starting to find that rhythm once more. It's Reese to the near side, Grant the motion man. Artie Perrone out to the far side. Katrikazi split out left. Caldwell had it for a moment, he fumbled it. It's picked up by Utah, and that's a turnover. In a brutal spot, 4:48 left in this contest. That was just bizarre. It looked like it was stripped out of his hand almost.
It's one of those plays as a quarterback that you never want to have happen to you, but unfortunately it does sometimes happen to you. You just go to throw the ball, and it slips right out of your hands here, and you see the replay, and we've seen it before. You've seen it in the NFL. You've seen it at every level of football. It's embarrassing. It's terrible, but it happens sometimes.
Yep.
And listen, why wouldn't it happen today? We've had everything else.
Hey, we said it, Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong.
So Pennsylvania's had a pretty solid offensive drive, stalled by another really bad turnover, and I cannot believe that KG's back in this game, to be honest with you, after that hit he took last drive.
He got thwacked. See what he's able to do if he's able to keep his head on straight. Now firmly in the driver's seat of this game, 4:48 on the clock. KG drops. He's under pressure. He'll scramble. Crossing the 15, sliding into the wall, trying to avoid a big hit. He had 2 guys. That was Brendan Nichols alongside Harold Miles and Chase.
Yeah, that would be what I would have done if I was playing this game. And like I said, I played many moons ago, and I learned very quickly that you need to protect yourself in this league, and especially after taking a hit like he took on the last drive, you don't want to take any more, and he did a good job getting down, but great job picking up 8 yards with his legs there.
Yeah, can't complain about positive yardage. 2nd down and about 2. KG. So that's one in motion. It's Stimson. He'll look that way, and it's picked off. Giving it right back. This time it's Brandon Nichols with his hand on it. Picked off at the line of scrimmage. Nichols trying to bring the whole defense into the end zone for the celebration.
I'm just kind of shaking my head in disbelief here. You kind of go back and watch this replay, and now you've had 2 back-to-back. Listen, I don't know. All right, listen, I'll just say how it is from seeing it from what I know about being up in the booth and playing the quarterback position. Something's going on with those footballs.
Yeah.
Because the balls do not slip out of the quarterback's hands that easily on 2 back-to-back possessions. So I don't know if they're using new footballs that haven't been scrubbed or whatever it might be, but something is slick down there, and I don't know what's going on, but
I think that's a really good point. Yeah, we heard the Utah sideline earlier, the Benjamin sideline earlier, saying they were using new balls for warm-ups. Caldwell rolls out and right through the hands of Artie Perrone. Perrone is dropped despite not being able to corral that one.
Yeah, again, that one goes right through the hands of Perrone, and I don't know. Something seems like a coincidence until it continues to happen, and then it's a trend, in my opinion.
I agree.
There's a trend right here with fumbles and drop passes that we haven't seen the entire game. So,
but now it's a 1-point game, 3:30 on the clock, and both offenses have been stagnant. So we are in the crunch time of this contest. Reese, the motion man to the near side, Perrone in the slot to the far side, Peyton out wide. Caldwell looks, he has time, he'll go to Peyton. Contact prior, but they'll say it was legal. Keon Cleary with that pass defended.
Yeah, I think Cleary got there a little bit early. If you see here, if you watch the replay, a little bit of contact here early. Caldwell does a great job climbing the pocket, trying to find somebody there, and Clary's all over the receiver's back before that ball gets there, and missed call there, and Pennsylvania have to deal with an unfortunate circumstance, not getting that penalty called in their favor.
Time starting to slip away. It's third down here, and let me ask you this, Coach. Hypothetically, it shifts to fourth down. You kicking the field goal? Or are you going to go
it's
for
possible.
it? Caldwell drops. He's going to Perrone. Perrone's got his hands on it. Perrone, let's see, just enough for the first down. They'll move the chains.
Yeah, Perrone's, and again, more.
And there we got a fight on that far sideline. Looks like Perrone's at the bottom of the scrap, and offensive lineman being ushered away. I believe that's Gabe Rankings, who is being pushed away by Jake Schwerpel. Both offensive linemen coming to the defense of Perrone, who was at the bottom of that pile. Either way, first down.
Yeah, not what you want to see, and we're going to not even comment on it, but Caldwell does a great job here getting the ball out quick. Perrone, he's been pretty solid with his possession skills all day. Catches the ball, makes a nice first down for the Pennsylvania Benjamins and moving the sticks for this offense, and then you get into the scrum at the end of the play, but again.
Yeah, it looked like from that replay that scrum started because the Utah defender thought he might have jarred the football loose and was trying to strip it out, and the Benjamins did not take that kindly. Understandably, but we've got a reset on down, so first down. Caldwell back under center. Grant, the motion man. Reese to the near side, Peyton in the slot. Grant on the way. Caldwell dropping. He's looking for him, and it's nearly intercepted in the back of the end zone. And I'll say it, Antwain Grant and Yvonne Caldwell have been out of sorts this game, way off page.
Yeah, Caldwell throws a post pattern here. Grant runs the flag route or the corner route, and ball almost gets intercepted, and you can just see visibly upset is Grant with the quarterback there and just not able to be on the same page at all really today. I don't know how many catches Grant has in this one, if any, for this game so far.
It's certainly lower than what he's accustomed to. But still an opportunity to come away with a win. The Benjamins have Grant back in motion. Caldwell calls for it. He's got pressure on the backside, trying to get away from it. He won't. Brought down at the 20-yard line once again. Cameron Green on the sack. So that's going to force a timeout to be called, or the 1 minute warning rather.
It's another great play there by Dominic. Dominic's got to be making himself a case for Defensive Player of the Week. That's his probably second or third sack of the game at least.
Gets through what could have been a holding call there too.
Just really putting Utah in great position and tough field position now for Pennsylvania as they look at third and long here.
That sack actually going to be credited to Jordan Dominic. Green came in at the very end there. Dominic was the one who started things off on the backside. So with 1 minute left to play, the grade 8's on top, 27-26. When we come back, or when the Benjamins retake the field, it'll be third and about 15 or so. They'll need to get to the 5-yard line for a first down. And every point critical. I mean, you got to think this is really the last hope offensively for Pennsylvania. Where if you don't come away with a touchdown here, let's say hypothetically incomplete pass in the back of the end zone. Are you going to go for the touchdown, or are you just going to try to take a 2-point lead?
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
It depends on how much confidence you really have in your kicker, but I mean, Pennsylvania's offense in the first half looked pretty solid. So
yeah, I think that's the thing. If you're going to judge the first half offense, I would have gone for it. If you're going to judge the second half offense, I'd say kick it. Really don't know who's going to come to play. See if that's a moot point as Caldwell's going towards the end zone, incomplete. And that hypothetical we were just discussing has become a reality. 4th and 15. And it looks like, at least for the time being, Caldwell's going to stay on the field.
Grant just took himself off the field too, and
yeah, he's
Perrone's
upset.
coming in.
Yeah, Grant not happy. So we'll get now a timeout called. This one taken by the Benjamins. Wise call, you got 3, might as well use it, as this very well could be your last offensive play. of this contest. 27-26 the score. We'll take a brief step aside and have the final minute of action when we return. And welcome back to Santander Arena in the final 56 ticks of what has been really a bizarre contest. We were discussing it a little bit during the break. First half was tremendous. Second half, if you love defense, has been great. If you love offense, not so much. It's been the tale of two halves here. But even still, Pennsylvania with an opportunity to go ahead two here as they send Dawson Evitz out just a yard or two beyond midfield to kick this field goal. Snap on the way, it's up. It's good! Pennsylvania in the final 50 seconds back on top, 29-27, but it's not done yet. Utah with an opportunity to come away with victory here, running the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, Dawson Evans just ice in his veins as the clock is running down in this game, and he's able to nail a long field goal. I think it was a 37-yard field goal. I'll tell you what, the MVP of the second half goes to these kickers.
Yeah.
They got the only points in the second half.
It's been something.
You got two field goals out of the Utah kicker, Spencer Bisco, and then Dawson Evans comes in and drills one with 51 seconds left to put Pennsylvania back on top. But again, this game is far from over. Anything could happen here in this arena football game.
Absolutely. We've seen Utah struggle to push the ball downfield quickly. They're usually, in this contest, been going for the sustained long scoring drives, but this time they'll have to just attack the end zone unless they have the utmost confidence in their kicker. So we'll see how they play. Are they going to play for field position and kick the win, or just go right for the touchdown? As Evitz kicks that one deep, fielded. One move made and upended at the 14-yard line. Beautiful tackle from DeMonte McCurdy, removing Samaj Brown from the turf.
Yeah, tough tackle here by McCurdy. Upends Brown, and it's a very physical game, and he goes up and over, and McCurdy lays him out and puts him on the floor, and Utah's going to have to go the majority of the field here if they want to be able to put a bow on this one and get out of Pennsylvania with a win here.
And the scoreboard, we saw a factor for the kickoffs as well. So being behind the scoreboard, really, I think getting to midfield is almost a must to kick this field goal.
Sure.
'Cause you can't get that arc, that high arc with that big Jumbotron in the way. It's been a factor throughout this contest.
For sure.
So KG back under center. Santander Arena on their feet. Stimson in motion. KG drops under pressure. Pump fakes once. He's on the move. Out towards the wall, trying to get past. He is. Officials blowing it dead. KG is furious. Officials saying he was forced out along the wall 2 yards prior to the first down line. What do you think of that one, Andrew?
I think it's the right call, in my opinion. We've been talking about it all game. These guys, when they get forced into the wall or touched into the wall, the play is dead. Now, you'll see KG here. He's on a long scramble, and a Benjamin's player, in my opinion, touches him, and he steps out of bounds.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be right about the 18-yard line. So right here, they say that contact was enough. Tough angle we had, but the officials on the sideline, obviously a perfect view for that. So that leads us to 2nd and 3. KG quickly underneath, miscommunication once again to Stimson. Clock stops at 34.
You see KG kind of pounding his chest saying, my fault there. He messed up the throw. I guess again, more miscommunication between receiver and quarterback there, but
3rd and 3 is the result, and avoiding disaster on the interception really there, as that was Harold Miles with an opportunity to ice that.
yeah, really would have. The official must have seen something that sent KG out of bounds.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't have a good look at it on the replay, but over
KG.
now.
He'll let it go. That one's off target, almost intercepted once more. Right into the chest of DeMonte McCurdy, and McCurdy just not able to hold on.
It just looks weird coming out of his hands here. He just looks like he's.
Yeah, it's just like that wide,
yeah.
like wobbly spiral.
Yeah,
You're right.
I don't know. It's been pretty much all game with KG.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the quarterback. I know he's been taking shots all over the place, but it just doesn't look clean coming out of his hands, and it really hasn't the entire game.
Completely agree there. And now it's 4th and 3. Needing a first down to continue it. All 3 timeouts for Utah. It's a long 3. Stimson in motion. KG drops, lets it fly. Incomplete! Incomplete! The Pennsylvania Benjamins are going to hold on for a 29-27 victory here in their home of Santander Arena. It was the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure's been there the whole second half. This half has been the tale of defenses. Not one offensive point has been scored through the touchdown. But again, just a tough throw there by KG, and the receiver just didn't have a shot. There was no chance for the receiver. And if I'm Coach Burley on the trip home, we're really reviewing the film and
no doubt
evaluating options, honestly.
Yeah, that was, I believe it was Josh Pryor who had the bulkhead of the pressure on KG, and KG just not confident. Feet were not planted. We had discussed it a number of times before, where he's kind of fading back, and pulls one of those jump throws. You can't get a lot of velocity, a lot of zip on those throws. And the inaccuracy there as well. They'll just hand it off once, and barring any turnovers here, that could do it. Although we've got some timeouts to burn.
Yeah, they got to get positive yards.
Yeah.
In the arena game, it's different because you have timeouts, and then if you get positive yards, then you can keep the clock running. If they get stopped for incomplete pass or a negative loss, that clock stops running. So you don't want to, it's that door is certainly closing, but there's still a window of opportunity there, I think, for Utah to make something happen. But
got to imagine they're going to just go to Kachikazis all 3 times and just say, all right, big man, move forward.
Yeah, but again, like I said, sometimes that's harder. They're easier said than done.
Absolutely.
You've seen how successful or unsuccessful the run games have been in this game.
Absolutely. They'll drop back to pass. Going to Peyton. Peyton has it on the 5-yard out.
I mean, that's your best bet there to keep the clock running, is to complete these, easy. Well, nothing's really been easy in the second half, but they'll complete these 2 or 3 yard hitch routes and keep the clock moving and force Utah to use their timeouts.
So 3rd down now. 1 timeout remaining for Utah. Interesting if they can hold them here to a 4th down. You have an opportunity to maybe get it back with about just under 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, that's like you said, in this arena game, when it's a 1-score game, it's really, really tough to count somebody out.
Absolutely right. They'll give it to Kachikazis, and he'll get 1 yard. Timeout immediately called, so it'll be 4th and 1 with 10 seconds remaining on the clock. So what are you doing here if you're the coach of the Pennsylvania Benjamins? You gonna hand off to Kachikazis once more? Or are you going to try to extend this field goal lead?
Yeah, I'm going to try. No, I'd try and get the first down here, keep the clock moving, and then we could put a bow on this thing. But
Yeah. Here's the thing, if you hit the field goal.
I mean, with the field goal, anything's possible. You can get a block, you can have a bad snap,
true.
anything like
Very
that.
true. But you'll push it to a more than, you'll need to get a touchdown. It's a touchdown game if you hit the field goal. Obviously, my pleas falling on deaf ears as Caldwell back out there. Kachikazi to his right, Peyton in motion. They'll give it to Kachikazi, who's stuffed initially, feet churning. It'll be a decision of the spot. First down.
Yep.
Kachikazi, the man to finish it off as time will expire. The Pennsylvania Benjamins move to 2-0. 29-27 the final. From Santander Arena, it's been fun for all of us here at the Sports Fanbase Network. My name is Ryan Cuny. My co-host Andrew Daly, camera guys Dave Roberts and Carl Muth were spectacular as always, and big thank you to our producer Sean Kelly. Thank you to the Benjamin team. And Andrew, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, really a tale of two halves. Obviously, here you go into halftime, you're up 26-21, and then you come out in the second half and you pull out a 29-27 victory. And for an indoor football game, it's very, very uncommon to score that little amount of points in a half of football between both teams. But hey, give credit to the stout defense that was played.
Yep.
A little bit of sloppy offense and a really great kicking game, and that's what it came down to, honestly.
Yeah, I'll award my MVP to the defensive line of the Benjamins as they made KG uncomfortable all night, generating turnover after turnover, and that was the big difference. So we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday afternoon with us and for all of us here at the International Arena League and the Sports Fanbase Network. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.